Black African power. What's good? What's happening? A well-organized lie defeats a disorganized truth every time. Woo-hoo-wee, man. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's God killing the house. I come to do what I got to do, and I'm gonna do what I got to do. I'm standing tall, I'm standing strong. Hey, Bobby banging this bitch. What's good, family? Y'all know what it is, man. Man, it's a good day. Billy got himself in a lot of trouble, man. Man, I stopped over to Mr. Pocket Watcher himself, JT. Had a great show going on over there. I jumped up on the panel. Big up to JT, man. He exposing the scammers at all levels, man. Appreciate that. That financial literacy is equally as important as scientific literacy. It is. And he exposes the scams. For sure. My conversation over there was that something precedes the scam. So what precedes the scam? Some type of religious doctrine precedes the scam. We're Savannah apes. And based off of natural selection, evolution by way of natural selection, our minds, our brains, my fault, evolved to believe. The way we believe, why we believe, and how we believe has been co-opted by religion. That's for sure. So we're going to get right into it. I got a couple clips to play, man. And we're going to see BillyCarson versus WesHuff. The fake debate. Are they both scamming our intellectual property between our ears? Man, let's go.
Bobby banger from the block, seen it all raw tough. Streets of Baltimore where survival's always rough. Joined the Marines fighting for a life he could save. But back in the hood, he felt like a runaway slave. Started an army, not of guns but of wisdom. I'm a rock squad, truth the anthem, we ain't just a God killer. Bobby banger on his path for the truth. Empower the people, give them wisdom as the proof. Black power rising, knowledge shines like a light. He's fighting for the future, ready to ignite. Selling drugs on the corner just to put food on plates, but deep in his heart, he knew he had greater fates. From the traps to the lab, he fights ignorance raw, teaching evolution while shaking up the law. The real black atheist is changing the game, waking up minds never the same. God killer Bobby banger on his path for the truth. Empower the
Man. Let me drink my water. Hold on. Man, what's good, family, man? I see we got some people up in the building, man. Let the crowd come up in here, man, so we can get this thing going, man. What's good with the family, man? I ain't been on for a while, been chilling. Y'all know what it is, doing our thing. That's how we do it around here, man. So, what's good with you, Black Panther? What it do? Keenan Wright, what it do? Fontaine, what it do? What's up with you? What it do, man? We got the people coming up in the building, man. Rush, I see you. I see you. Solidaire, I see you. Man. So, man, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the channel, man. Go over there and holler at the Pocket Watcher, man. Man, he exposing the scams for what it is, man. Had an interesting conversation with him. All right. Called into a show, gave me a couple minutes, man. I appreciate that respect, man. And we give the same respect over here. So, all those who've been looking at our shows, the pseudo killers and the community skeptics, y'all understand that the brain evolved to think, right? And the brain is actually to manage our body budget, right? Go look at some of the brain shows. The aspect that we're talking about now is the belief part of it and how religion has co-opted. Look, we're gonna have Andy on, Dr. Andy on. Think it's gonna be December the 21st. Let me see. Right, and we're gonna have this very conversation. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me get the right date on here so we can get this going. I want to make sure y'all in the building. Let's see, Andy. Man, come on now. All right, that would be 21st. It's 21st, right? Yep, 21st. All right, make sure y'all tune in on the 21st, man. This month, we're going to have Dr. Andy on. All right, it's going to be a great thing. I see you, Prayer Black. I see that, Mr. Chuck Morgan. Man, we're going to have Chuck come through. Chuck been promised to come through, right? But this is a perfect time for him to come through. All right. So I just want to, I want to check out thinking on this situation here. All right. You can't say that Billy is scamming and then not recognize the scam that was right beside him. They both scamming. All right. You're just more comfortable with the Christian scam. A little more get comfortable with it. You was raised in it. You're in the damn thing. You can't even see it as all around you. You was raised like that. You was raised to think that the Christian God is the God. Right? Most of us was. And when we tried to break out, we became Hebrews and we became Muslims breaking out. And then we became conscious and then it all fell apart. But each stage you go into, right, it's value that you place on words. It's the words, right, that have power over you, right? Because you yourself place value on it. So if I say Elohim, right, then those who understand, the average person, not unless they church talk about it, won't know what the Elohim is, right? So an outside person who's not in the faith, like BillyCarson, he can trick you with it. He said, yeah, well, the Elohim is really the gods. So then you would need a little more study to understand that, yes, and Huff got that wrong too. He was playing because Elohim can be a plural because we can look it up. Strong's number 432. No, Strong's number 430 in the Strong Concordance. We could look that up. But it would be improper to translate it that way because the Hebrews was said to be a monotheist. And so proper in their culture, the Elohim would have been rulers or judges, right, when dealing with men, and God, right, in the true sense, right, when dealing with the deity itself. So if you was to translate it, you have to translate in its proper cultural context. Billy tried to play the game. Anunnaki would definitely be a plural because that's the proper cultural context. They polytheists, right? Their gods was like here on earth, the polytheists, right? Islam, Christianity, Judaism, they're monotheists. So there's a cultural context to go with that. But what is the difference? The difference is, one, the power that you place on the daggone words. You give more power to the Elohim when you're Christian, and less power to the Anunnaki. As you become conscious, you give more power to the Anunnaki and less to the Elohim, and then you bring the Elohim into the whole situation. It's about thinking, y'all. What value have you placed on the word God? What value have you placed on the word Elohim? This is the gist of the conversation, man. So as I watched the video, they both were scamming. He just had more education on said subject, period. Like he said, like Huff said, yeah, I'm working on my doctorate degree. And he had the books behind him. They talked about certain biblical texts. He had all that. He does in his profession. He said, I deal with textual critiques and all that. Theology school. Bet. That's what he was fighting with. But what he can't fight you is that cultures, period, have ideas around deity or gods, or however you want to put it, or whatever they want to call it. This is a fact. Why? Because religion has co-opted human beliefs, period, across the board. And so everywhere you go, somebody gonna have some type of idea, right? These ideas are cultural containers. See, let us not forget that. Billy was having a conversation with a guy that felt like it was a God. Billy feels like there's a God. He just don't feel like that they God is the God, and the Bible is not the only God, and whatever, right? But as soon as you say you believe in God, there's a rule book that comes with that. Because when Mr. Huff is saying that he believes in God, he's talked about integrated biblical text. And to them, that is the God of the whole world, which is very, very arrogant and very, very disrespectful. But you don't know it's disrespectful if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, the ideas I want to convey to you. But once you study world religions, you can understand. So when I say religion and deity, a deity is nothing but a cultural container of ideas and wisdom systems of how these particular people in this particular environment understand their world and or their lack of. So in the Hebrew tradition, God is on the mountain. And you know, the burning bush, the mountain is on fire, the burning bush, the whole 9 yards. Moses is talking to him. Obviously, they didn't understand why mountains or bushes would burn. Now, today, we simply understand it to be volcanoes or some type of lava flow or something like that. But ain't no damn bush that's burning forever. There's a scientific reason on why such things may happen, may or may not happen. But in those particular time periods, right, that there was a lack of understanding of scientific things. Well, you know, the Bible is scientific. No, it is not. Because if the biblical text was scientific, then it wouldn't be religion. The very nature of religion is clear. It's not supposed to be aligned with science. Because if it was, then it would not be religion. It would be science. We never mix the two. So I'm talking about value judgment. I place no value on other people's religion. I look at them as being the same. And once you can get there on that type of thinking, then you're on your way to actually understanding these conversations, right? Yes, BillyCarson is a scammer. Flim flammer, bam, bam, bammer. He's been that. He's a super pseudo. Absolutely. But he's making it up. So is the Christian. No, he's not. He's using theology, the scholars. No. Y'all got to know that there was a conferences that not the Nicaean Council. In the Nicaean Council, they was actually having an argument over Jesus Christ. Now, how could you have an argument over Jesus Christ? Wouldn't God already tell you who Jesus was? But no, there was the Arius conversation. Arius, right? Matter of fact, he was making such a ruckus that Arius actually, I'm saying, was convincing people in that time, right? And so much so that they needed to have a conference over. Like for the life of me, why would you need to have a conference over Jesus Christ or the nature of Christ? Wouldn't you know? Wouldn't God already tell you? Wouldn't be no argument there, would it? So they convened this conference in 325 in the Nicaean Council. Contrary to belief, okay, the Roman general, he did not bring his army. Constantine, he didn't bring his army because he didn't want to show a force. He didn't want them to think that he was making them make their decision based off the power of Rome. And so at this conference, they argued the nature of Christ. Arius was saying that, yes, Jesus may be God, right? But he was created by God in the beginning. They say, no. Jesus was in the beginning with God as God. See how confusing that is? It was definitely a problem in that particular time at 325 AD. It certainly was an issue. As the story goes, as the notes of the council goes, they threw his ass out. Nah, bro, Jesus was in the beginning. He was never created. Crazy. That's how it go, right? And so they made that up. How about that at 325 when they made that choice? No, they did it off reading text. No, they chose the text that went better with those ideas. Is what happened. Read some of Bart Ehrman's work. All right. Bart Ehrman. Read some of his works. He talks about the first Christians. It was a fight for Christianity. And what sect would actually win? Wasn't like it came down from heaven to eat. It came from heaven and denounced and announced what brand of Christianity was the proper one. No, it was the one that had the more political sway, the better ideas, or the lesser of that. However you want to look at it, right? Who had the most convincibility? This is important for y'all to understand this. So Billy is making it up, of course, but the Christians are too. They got text to back them up. Right? They got the political sway to back them up. They got your hearts and your mind to back them up, but they all scamming. So what's the Christian scam? The Christian scam is that Jesus is not the God of the universe. It's not the God of the whole world. He's the God of the Christian world. Yahweh, his father, is the God of the Hebrew world. Because the people that wrote it didn't know about the whole world. So you scamming me if you telling me that your God is the God of the whole world. You haven't even met the rest of the world. There's no record of the Hebrew circumnavigating the globe. There's no record of them knowing about hell. There's no record of them knowing about South Africa, Central Africa. There's no record. Simple as that. So they scamming you when they knock on your door. The Mormons knock on your door and try to bring you Christ that they claim came to America. That's a scam. WesHuff, Mr. West, he ain't on their head. He talks about in that particular debate, not debate. See, that's a scam too. He talks about in that particular conversation on how he grew up with those books in his house, with the Quran in his house, the Torah in his house, certain texts, the Book of the Mormons in his house, all that, privy to it. Said his father read literature on the quote unquote Roman Empire. It was open minded. How the hell he get closed minded? But the scam is this: that the Christian God or the Muslim God, it's not the God of the whole world. It's the God of their world. It's a culture container of ideas that they promote, that they claim help them get through their day, that they claim is the God. Scam at all levels. Simple as that. No, your culture is not better than all of our cultures, and all cultures have the right to develop these ideas. One of my favorite deities is voodoo, God of the fun people. The homie. It's their God. Is that is voodoo or voodoo? Is that the God of the universe? If they say it is, but is it actually the God of everybody? No, it's the God of those who believe in that. It's a belief, faith, belief system or culture, however you want to put it. And it contains the wisdom and the ideas of the people and that geography. Because you can look up the name and figure out where the geography is, what tribes adhere to that. Same with Christianity in the early days, same with Judaism, is all of it, right? You can actually look at their deity. They did have a time stamp on it. Approximate time periods. The geography is tied to it. Jesus Christ is tied to Palestine and Judea. He was born in that area, Bethlehem. It's tied to that area. Allah is tied to Arabia. He's an Arabian deity, right? We can chart where that 570 is when the prophet came through. So it became popularized. Of course, it predates that, but that's when it became popularized. Kulu, Alunkalunk, Kulu Kulu, or Unlunkalunk amongst the Zulus. South Africa. Geography, Africa. South. Mendelusi amongst the Nubians. Interesting. These deities are tied to land and resources and wisdom, faith systems. So to say that that particular deity is the deity of the whole world and oppress people with it, if not physically, mentally, and socially, and spiritually, is a scam. So they both scamming. It's that the European scam was at a higher level. And let's start off with this. I want to start with this. Think this to be important. Think we can get right into the groove with this. I want to do this. And big up to everybody. Look, man, hit that Cash App, man. We got 144,000 in the building, man. All right. All right. Let me see. Let me share my screen here. All right. Oh, that's on WesHuff. Put that. Do I want to? Wait a minute. I don't want to. Damn, man. I don't want the WesHuff. I don't want to give him his channel. He got 663,000 subscribers. Oh man. No, he got 138,000. My fault. That video, man. That video getting close to a million views. I don't want his. Man, I want to go to the actual guy that got the debate. It's a reason why. Let me see. I want y'all to read it. So the whole scam starts with the word debate. It wasn't even a debate. All right. I want to read directly from what it say. That way we can get some, you know how you gotta really read stuff. All right, let me see. Hold on. 1 second. Man, big up to everybody, man, that's tuned in, man. We cooking with hot grease, that's for sure. All right, let me see. Is this a... All right, let me see. No, see, I don't want the... No, I don't want that. Go a little bit farther. Hold on, y'all. I want to go to the actual channel. 1 sec. Let me see. Can I get there? Man. Oh, actually, goddamn. Maybe I can look it up. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. I want to get to the actual. And big up, man, to everybody, man. I want to go to the actual channel itself. Is it now? Where is the guy's channel at? Man. No, Wesley. I don't want Wesley. He ain't the one that gave it that going. Wonder why. Let's see. I know Wes didn't get that. Rashul? No. Nope. What is the guy's name who actually gave the debate? 1 second. No. Yeah, they all pushing this debate thing, and it actually wasn't a debate. I want to read directly from. I just think everybody on the wrong side of it, man. I think if you let Huff off the hook, then you missed the whole point. Oh man, you actually did. Let me see. Let me see. I just had it. John class, that ain't it, was it? I don't think that's it, right? No, I don't think that's it. Nah, man. And the Christians is just taking over with this foolery right here, man. Dishonesty, man. Yeah, you know how it is. You get a person who ain't, you got them. I get it, but we got to scrutinize the whole thing. All right, I think that's important. If you get full, hold on, we're both notified. I think, is it here? All right, let me see. All right, it says let me read right here, but that's on Western. Okay, it says the debate between WesHuff and BillyCarson that took place on October 18th, 2024. Both Billy and Wes were notified 24 hours before that. So since when do you have a debate and you get 24 hours to get it in, to get your stuff together, right? Man, so you already know it wasn't really a debate, y'all. Let's be right here. All right. Okay, you start off from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. You always got to start with 1, 2, 3 so y'all can see the whole picture. Watch this. Both Billy and Wes were notified 24 hours before that we were scheduled to talk with each other, that it would be in a debate style discussion format. See, key word here, a debate style discussion format. Basically, they not going to do like we be doing, talking over each other. You're going to let one person talk, you get a little bit in, no time clock, no nothing, right? Be respectful of the time. Then the next person respond, we go on something else. That's how that was. The guy in the middle clearly wasn't a moderator. He actually invited Billy over. I guess this is the one that set it up. First time I've seen this video when he started promoting it, saying that, well, the debate that nobody wants to let you see, right? So he played that. That's good marketing, great marketing strategy. So once again, it says to be a debate style discussion and that we would be talking about Christianity and the Bible. Specifically, the topic of discussion that was disclosed at all individuals involved was that we would be discussing Billy's public and widely dispersed criticism and critiques regarding the Bible and historical Christianity. There you have it. All right. So it wasn't a damn debate. So this whole time we sitting there thinking it was a debate, and it actually wasn't a debate. Rashul, man, big up, man, to the super chat, man. Big up, man. Appreciate that love right there, yo. All right, man. Make sure you hit that Cash App, show some love, man. We cooking with hot grease over here. So, all right. So everybody talking about they had a debate. They didn't actually have a debate. They had a a debate style discussion format. So they wanted a format that kind of resembled, right, a debate, right, but it wasn't an actual debate. All right. So one nothing to win and lose here. This is a discussion, right? So you would say that he lost the discussion. I say they both were scamming. And let's play the first clip. Let's see. I ain't making it up. Shoot, you know how we do around here, yo. We do what we do. All right. Man, big up to everybody in the support, man. All right. All right. Let's get that first clip in. Fair usage, of course. All right. Definitely fair usage. Let me put the banner up there. The fair usage. The vaunted fair usage. All right, let me get it up here. Did I read that super chat? I will tell anyone in scientific literacy, no religion or nothing. Make sure I read that, bro. I appreciate that love right there. All right, here we go.
With that, I just see if I have all these texts out, there's a lot of different information that you can see. There's a lot of it's been copied word for word into the biblical text.
But what's the word for word?
In your version of what you believe in, you keep saying that God's a he.
Yep.
And so where do you get that from?
Well, throughout both the Hebrew Old Testament and the Greek New Testament, you have the masculine singular pronoun used for God.
And why is God a man? Where's the evidence of this?
Well, God isn't a man. See, within historical Christianity, we don't believe that God has a gender. However, the way that he has decided to reveal himself is through the masculine plural, and then ultimately by becoming a human in the person of Jesus Christ. So we don't believe that God has a gender. In fact, the fact
Scam right there. Now, technically speaking, what he said was right, but does it make sense? When your mother and your grandmom is sitting there in church, under no circumstance is she thinking about a masculine, feminine gender. She ain't think about that, right? When she look on that wall, she see Jesus, the man, not Jesus, the woman. Remember, God and Jesus supposedly one and the same. The Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and these three bear witness. And yet they tell you it's the one God. All scammery at this point. I define scam as we have intellectual real estate between our two ears. Is our wisdom, our understanding, our intelligence. And when that gets tricked, right, you've been scammed. Yeah, because we've been sold that God's been a man. Why ain't they say God the woman? Why they ain't use the woman? No, because they know what they was doing. What they was doing was it was men writing the daggone books anyway. And of course, if you're writing it, you're gonna mold the character after you. That's the real answer, but they got a technical answer for you now. So technically speaking, he gave the right information, but understanding of it as Christians would know, as your grandmother, as the 5 billion Christians would think, yeah, you're actually running around here thinking that God is a man. Not only do you think God is a man, you think that the man was made first. And out the rib came the woman. And you think that the man named everything. There's a hierarchy here that's being promoted. And I don't need a technicality to tell me that it is not. Yes, it is. You can just tell the way the women was getting treated, how they still getting treated. So there you have it. That's your first scam right there. So Billy makes a point. Why is God a man? No, God not a man. Come on, man. Nonsense. Let's move on to the next clip. Play too much, don't they? God ain't a man. Since when? When did God stop being a man? When you go to theology school and learn the masculine feminine principle, oh, yeah, but how many of your grandparents, your mother and them actually went to theology school and get their master's degree and doctorate degree to learn that? Technicality. Come on, man. All right. Next point. WesHuff say, doesn't matter what Christians believe. Why is his explanation? So Billy is talking about ancient societies, and all right, let's just play this and get this straight. Hold on. Yeah, man, they both. I thought y'all should listen to the whole video. I thought it was a great conversation for atheists to be able to, work their way through that. Got to be able to work your way through that, right? Or you're gonna get scammed.
Believe that God is not masculine, that God is has both aspects? Like you were
I mean,
asking
it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians
people on the
believe.
road, how many would
Yeah.
tell you?
He just said it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant what most Christians believe. Huh? And he's going to give you a reason why it's irrelevant what most Christians believe. And that's an interesting one right there. He's setting up a scam.
That God is not masculine, that God is has both aspects? Like you were
I mean,
asking
it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians
people on
believe.
the road, how many would
Yeah.
tell you, that God's not a man? They've never been taught this.
Well, I was taught it growing up. I was taught it in when I was a child, when I went to seminary, when I went to Bible college. I was taught it in graduate school. I would say I would say a few things to that. I would say, in one sense, it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe, because what historical biblical Christianity articulates is what they should believe. There are Christians who run around saying all sorts of things that are not in conformity to biblical, historical, Orthodox Christianity. And they shouldn't believe that, because it's irrelevant. And so if one Christian believes something that is not in line with biblical Christianity, I mean, that's on them. So God is not gendered, but he does express through
Biblical, Orthodox Christianity. How many of y'all was raised up in a biblical orthodoxy Christian church? Hell no, y'all was Baptists. And y'all had different beliefs. Jehovah's Witnesses have different beliefs. The Catholics have different beliefs. Some think that Jesus is God. Some say Jesus is the Son of God. Some say Jesus is the God and the Son of God and came to earth in the form of a man that he's claiming is not important. So he's actually claiming here that doesn't matter what a Christian believes, it's about the art. So he's already chosen what brand of Christianity. Did y'all catch that? I did. And his orthodoxy doesn't matter what you believe. Oh, damn. Doesn't it? That's the point. We was raised and taught Christianity through our parents, and our parents took us to church. Remember? Or your grandma or your great grandma took you to church. That's exactly what they did. And you base your belief off of your preacher standing in the pulpit or what your mother taught you or your auntie and them taught you. It wasn't based off of no daggone going to theology school. But he gave you a specific brand of Christianity. And I can guarantee you, all Christians don't believe the same. So it's obvious that what you believe matters as a Christian now, doesn't it? Because based off how you believe, that means you've chosen a particular sect of Christianity. I talked about earlier, reading Bart Ehrman's work, The First Christians, how there wasn't no first Christianity. Different groups vying for attention. Who's scamming? Both of them. Listen closely. Man, how y'all feeling out there, man? Hit that cash app, man. So some love, man. Y'all know what it is. We definitely in the game. All the way. Big up, man. Everybody, man. Yo, I know y'all's holidays is coming, man. Hey, happy birthday to Juju. This her day. It's her birthday. Is it 12 o'clock? This is definitely her birthday. I'm gonna be the first one to tell her happy birthday, man. Happy birthday to Juju, man. There we go. We cooking with hot grease. All right. I wonder what else was in that clip, because he do a lot of talking. Both of them scamming, but man, Wes is scamming with that education, man. He got him going. Boy, yes, he do. I felt like the conversation was was worthy of listening to, though. You could see the conscious, Billy hitting with the conscious thing, and Mr. West, he hitting it with the Mr. Billy hitting with the conscious, and Mr. West hitting it with the academic, you know what I'm saying? The theology school. Yeah. But I want y'all to see that this ain't like in science, right? And where you can falsify it. You can't falsify God. Unfalsifiable. Thus, it ain't scientific. All right. So let's finish hearing that. I want to see. Let me see if I can finish hearing. I know you're gonna say something interesting. Let's see. I'm gonna throw that link there, man. We're gonna this is the one. Let's see. Yeah. So that I can finish hearing that.
Through inspired.
Believe that God is not masculine, that God is has both aspects.
I mean, it's irrelevant what the majority of Christians believe.
How many would tell you, that God's not a man? They've never been taught this.
Well, I was taught it growing up. I was taught it in when I was a child, when I went to seminary, when I went to Bible college. I was taught it in graduate school. I would say I would say a few things to that. I would say, in one sense, it's irrelevant.
Seminary, Bible college, and then why did you still believe? Remember, Bart Ehrman went through those different stages too. A lot of people that go to theology school, they get out of that. I never understood how a preacher go get his doctorate in theology and still come back and preach the same thing. Boy, you scamming. Remember, theology can't prove whether Jesus Christ walked on water. It's only dealing with the historical accuracy of certain texts and certain ideas, but definitely none of the quote unquote myths of it or quote unquote miracles. Theology school can't prove that. It's not what you learn, right? They try to get historical accuracy. All right.
What the majority of Christians believe, because what historical biblical Christianity articulates is what they should believe. There are Christians who run around saying all sorts of things that are not in conformity to biblical, historical, Orthodox Christianity. Right. And they shouldn't believe that because it's irrelevant. And so if one Christian believes something that is not in line with biblical Christianity, I mean, that's on them. So God is not gendered, but he does express through inspired scripture the masculine the masculine pronoun.
That's pretty convenient. I mean, for an all-knowing, all-loving God to understand that human beings are going to take that and abuse it to put their boot on the neck of women for eons. It's pretty interesting. Also,
I like that comeback. Pretty interesting there, Mr. Huff. All-knowing God to say that, and then men take advantage of that and put their foot on the neck of women. That's exactly what happened too. So did he really lose that point right there? They're all making it up. He just calling them on it. Pretty interesting. Wouldn't God just tell you all that? Let us continue. Very interesting.
I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I mean, so hold on. Let me speak to that because it is interesting that.
Quick, guys, I have to.
Yeah, sure.
If it was only for the Old Testament, I would have a hard time following a lot of stuff. For me, like you said, putting the boots on women and stuff, it was when Jesus came that when they were literally like, oh, if a woman, you can just accuse a female of having an affair and murder her, and that's like okay. that he was like, he just reminds me of anyone that basically challenged everything. And people would say that it didn't contradict what's in the Old Testament, but however people were interpreting it, they were believing that they were following the Bible to women can't do this, you stone them if they have an affair or if they're accused of having an affair. And Jesus, as we know the famous scene when they were about to stone her, he's like, he who hasn't sinned cast the first stone.
Now that's supposed to be the moderator, huh? Now he throwing some shots. This is very interesting. When I first listened to it in the beginning, I was like, y'all, they set them up. Then I realized that yes, both was Christians, but they two different Christians. And all three of them believe in God, but they all believe in God different ways. The theology student with his master's degree working on his doctorate degree, he has a whole different idea of the biblical text and the religion of Christianity. He has an academic understanding of it, a theological understanding of it. He understands the different texts. Hell, he got texts in the back of them. The one in the middle, the one I call like the gnarly, like a skateboard rider or a surfer. You know what I'm saying? Like he just going for it. He don't believe everything in the Bible, but he believe in Christ though. He believe in God. Right? Jesus Savior. But he's saying, man, that part right there in the Bible don't make no sense. And then you got Billy. Right? They on Billy head. Well, Huff is, he on Billy head. So the guy in the middle is torn between both of them. Once again, this was not a debate. It was just a conversation, but they spent it that way, right? And people took the bait. Is he scamming? Yeah, he's scamming. Hell, both of them scamming. Let us proceed.
Basically saying no one's perfect. And was the first one that I know of that started like speaking to other tribes and other countries that people weren't supposed to, like, they were so racist and prejudiced. And this is where my heart opened up, is like, he stood for this love and this God that broke down all these barriers and just flipped what all the scholars and everything was saying on its head. And that's where I found that I believe that he was crucified, because he went so far like against the grain at the time. And I get what you're saying too. Like, there's stuff where it's like, oh, that's convenient, where human beings can add in that this is there and that's not. But something else that I always was curious, I'm like, if especially the New Testament, if it was like written by man and stuff and pre-planned, I'm like, I think they would have done a better job of not making a lot of the people so like ignorant. The people that were like literally with Jesus, questioning him half the time, like, bro, I don't know if you can do this miracle. And Jesus is like, dude, you just saw me yesterday turn water into wine. And I'm like, if they really, if I was writing a story, I'm like, I want everyone to believe this, I would make the people not like is questionable. It's like they have so many characteristics where the humanity in it is what like always drew me. And like, even
He just talking us to death at that point. All three of them scamming, just like you say, Roster Man. They all scamming, flim flam, bam bam, booming. But can you see it? Can you hear it? Yeah, man. Billy is a scammer, man. He deserved to get got. Absolutely. But that ain't what this show is about. This show is to make sure we understand it all. I'm tripping, drifting. Christianity is so popular because it was based off of technology, based off of intercontinental ships that allowed it to go to different continents, right? Based off of invention, right? First Bible that was mass produced was based off of the printing press, Gutenberg. It's mass produced. So it wasn't the wind of God that sent the holy divine scriptures around the world. It was colonialism that did that. It was the Crusades that did that. We understand how Christianity got into Africa. Islam is there first with the expansion of the Islamic Empire. Once again, God's holy men. Once again. All right. We rolling. Let's see. See if I can move up a little bit.
One thing in the Old Testament, over worship that human beings have done. And
it's a book called Bullies and Saints, where he goes through Lloyd, and it's a book called
talks to this guy who's rising in power. You know, you should start conquering that other country in the name of and do it in the name of God.
Hold on. Let's see his response.
There's a really great resource written by a friend of mine, John Dixon. It's a book called Bullies and Saints, where he goes through a lot of the instances of we're obviously going to find abuses, and every human being is going to find a way to exploit whatever is presented to them. So in one sense, I think we can say, you know, isn't it convenient that God used the masculine plural pronoun, or sorry, the masculine pronoun. I keep saying plural, it's just a mistake. The masculine pronoun. And we can say, oh, sure, that's convenient, maybe, but it is how he has revealed himself to us. And it's not his fault if we abuse that. I mean, we could say, so I grew up in the Middle East. My parents worked in Amman, Jordan. And when I was living in the Middle East, there was a country called the Democratic Republic of Iraq. Now, just because democracy exists and people are going to name things democratic when they obviously aren't, doesn't mean we then judge democracy. I mean, think of the Democratic Republic of North Korea, right? Nobody thinks that that's an actual representation of democracy. So people are always going to abuse terms and ideas and concepts. The difference is, though, I think historically within Judeo-Christianity, you have this ethic that we were talking about before that I think is fundamentally different than what we find in things like the Enuma Elish, the Atrasis, and other things, in that we are created in the image of God. And actually, one of the earliest criticisms of Christianity are by individuals like Celsus, who is a Greco-Roman philosopher in the 2nd century, where he accused Christianity of being foolish, dishonorable, and stupid, and he called it the religion of slaves, women, and children. Why? Not because God used the masculine pronoun for himself and people were abusing that, because the concept that Christians believed in of everybody, no matter what your gender, your race, your social standing, you know, Paul says in Christ there is no slave nor free, there is no Jew nor Gentile, there is no Scythian or barbarian, there's no male nor female, you know, these things.
Yeah, that sounds real good, but that ain't how that worked out, was it? That ain't how it worked out for all people, did it? We come a long way to be Christians, don't we? Paid a hell of a price. Remember I talked about it earlier, how Christianity, any religion, is a gathering of ideas and concepts. Remember I talked about that, how they're cultural containers. So we lost a lot. We lost our whole culture to become Christian. You couple that with slavery, we lost everything. So like when an Ethiopian becomes a Christian or West African becomes a Muslim, they still have their culture intact. As a matter of fact, most of them mix it all together because they still have their culture. We ain't had nothing to mix it with. You know, when you lose the language, you lose the culture, because the culture is in the language with those words that you place value on things. So based off what you place value on it, that's how you learn it. right? So if you put a premium on telling the truth, then you'll make certain words and certain ideas proving and verifying that you're telling the truth. If you put value on lying and deceiving people, then you'll put value on that. So there's a lot going on in these cultures, and that's how important these systems become. They become value judgment systems, the way you judge things, the way you see things. There's custom and tradition in these systems. All right. So when you lose all that in slavery, and then you pick up the culture of Christianity, then we sitting here right now and we can't see that all three of them is scamming. The blind is on. You can't see it. Yeah, of course. He's bringing Wes is bringing the standard, the argument, the standard, right? But even in theology school, they debate that. They debate back and forth on different texts and what it is. There's no actual yes. It's not even what that is. Right? So yes, you have minimalists, people that believe in it, the certain text minimally, like it's a minimum, right? Then you got people that's all the way over there that thinks that that's what that is. That's really, high. It's like a scale. Interesting man, interesting. Let's see what the next clip is, man. Now, let me drop the link, man. See how y'all doing, and see anybody want to jump on for a minute. If not, we'll keep rocking, man. Hit that cash app, man. Show some love, man. Know what it is, man. We ain't gonna be in here too long. We just want to breeze on through. You know how we doing it. Breeze on through. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Language describes culture. Absolutely. That's why it's funny how they write the New Testament in Greek. Kohan Greek. Interesting, ain't it? All three of them are scamming, ladies and gentlemen. Man, hit that link if y'all want to jump in. Right? If not, yo, we cooking. Definitely cooking. We cooking. Let me see. Did I pay this part? All right, we already got that one in. All right, let's see what the next up we might pay today. All right. All right, let's get to the David and Goliath story. Get to the David and Goliath story. Let's see.
David and Goliath kills Goliath, a man after God's own heart. I'm like, if you're pre-writing this to be the perfect person after God's own heart, then he becomes king. You're gonna like have the story end perfectly, but then he goes off to see, he's watching this lady bathe nude, has an affair with her, has her husband killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but then goes on to keep praying to God and coming back to God, like with a humanity. And God's like, this is a man after my own heart. And it's like finding all these human flaws is, to me, showed so much of like the beautiful struggle that, and I'm not going off everything you guys are talking about, which is factual stuff. I'm just talking from my own experience of,
That's why Christianity is wild, because you can do all that, kill, lie, cheat, and steal, and get back under the graces with no punishment as long as you come to Christ. Did you hear what he said? Let's hear it again. Man.
David and Goliath kills Goliath, a man after God's own heart. I'm like, if you're pre-writing this to be the perfect person after God's own heart, then he becomes king. You're gonna like have the story end perfectly, but then he goes off to see, he's watching this lady bathe nude, has an affair with her, has her husband killed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but then goes on to to keep praying to God and coming back to God, like with a humanity. And God's like, this is a man after my own heart. And it's like finding all these human flaws is, to me, showed so much of like the beautiful struggle that, and I'm not going off everything you guys are talking about, which is factual stuff. I'm just talking from my own experience of ways where I drew that. uh, David and Goliath kills Goliath, a man after God.
David and Goliath kills Goliath. Come back, kill a man, get back on the graces, change back and forth. That's the point. In reality, that's human beings doing human things, not getting back in the graces of nothing. If you learned your lesson, then you would stop now, wouldn't you? It's a built-in excuse. What they say before Constantine died, he came to Christ. He timed that just right, didn't he? Hell of a time in there, y'all. Man, boy, I tell you. I find this to be real interesting. I see this part right. Let's see.
Fully apologetic for, what was it, the Crusades. It's like in the name of Catholicism, there's so many horrible things that human beings have done. And I'm speaking as someone that I would call myself a Christian, and I'm just letting everyone know that I'm open, critical thinker, and how I've continued to find my own beliefs, because I never sat here ignorantly and was like, nope, throughout history they've all been perfect. It's like, through the Crusades, they went through and committed genocide, rape, some of the most awful stuff, wearing these huge crosses. And I'm like, but God wasn't with them. They said he was, but that's why I also believe in the devil. And I don't believe he's this dude with a pitchfork and a red tail. I think it's more comes, in energy.
Y'all gotta listen to the whole thing, man. All three of them, had a turn at it. All got a different idea. So who telling the truth? Right. It's subjective. Simple as that. It's based off of opinion. It's not objective. It's subjective. They're giving their personal experiences. The theologian guy, he clearly says Orthodox Christianity is the way to go. That's like the Russian Orthodox Church. Now, how many of y'all how many of y'all did that? Right? King Azan and them was in the Orthodox Church. Frumentius, the first church father of Ethiopia. A Syrian Greek trader comes and supposedly gives King Azana Christianity. It's the Orthodox version of it. You see the Russian icons and all that. That's Orthodox Christian Church. All right? Boy. Man, hit that link if y'all want to. We're going to keep rolling. Where we at? We're about an hour and 30. All right. Let's finish seeing what they're saying. Let's see.
They're like, this is horrible. Like, on behalf of Christians. Comes, and energy and thoughts, and comes and people, and is like, oh, talks to this guy who's rising in power. You should start conquering that other country in the name of, and do it in the name of God. And then, that's the way I look at things. So anyway, go ahead. I had to just throw in.
Yeah. I mean, there's a really great resource written by a friend of mine, John Dixon. It's a book called Bullies and Saints, where he goes through a lot of the instances of we're obviously going to find abuses, and every human being is going to find a way to exploit whatever is presented to them. So in one sense, I think we can say, isn't it convenient that God used the masculine plural pronoun, or sorry, the masculine pronoun? I keep saying plural. It's just
Yeah, it's very convenient. Stop it. Knock it off. They hit you with the technicality. They good with the paperwork, though. Yeah, they good with that paperwork. Technicality. All right. Let me see where we at. All right. We'll get off that real quick. Let me get that out of here. All right. All right. Let me hit this one. This is a good one right here. This clip is a great one. All right. Okay. He's talking about, in this clip, he's talking about how you can track Christianity through the women, meaning like when Christianity comes, the women are being treated right. Scamming. How long was America been practicing Christianity? Since its inception, right? And women just got their rights to vote. They just got they rights to get a damn credit card. What's that, 30 years ago, 40 years ago? Something crazy, right? Take Christianity too long to figure that out. How about that? Way too long to figure that out. All right, let's go. Here we go. It's a great clip right here.
Book, The Rise of Christianity. He actually says that you can track empirically the agency of women across the ancient world by the movement of Christianity. So that, in other words, whenever an area became populated by Christians, we see a direct correlation with the privileges and treatments of women that expand in time when the surrounding culture largely didn't view women as being fully human. So I think we're always going to have abuses, but if there's one worldview that exists that gives agency to people and says that everybody has worth by nature of being just human, it's the Christian worldview. And that's where I think it's very different. So we can argue about why we think God should or shouldn't have revealed himself in his pronouns, but I think that's actually irrespective of the historical reality that we see within the impact of Christianity, particularly on the West, but around the world, and how it gives agency to the marginalized.
Wes, can I ask you one? So when you
His book, The Rise of Christianity,
outside the box, always, and we should be, no one should just be like sheep and follow what any of us are saying. Like, do your research on your own with everything, of course. But what led you, sorry, going back to C.S. Lewis real quick.
Christianity, you can follow the treatment of women through Christianity, huh? He's basically saying that it took Christianity to start treating women better. Leaving out Australian, Aboriginals, Native Americans, leaving out indigenous African cultures, all that. Think about how arrogant that statement is. He's definitely scamming. Huff got to stop, man. Man, boy, I tell you. This is what I think to be disrespectful right here. All right, here we go.
Sense?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a bit of an unusual household in that my mom grew up in India, and my parents, when I was younger, I was born in Pakistan, and I spent a portion of my childhood in Jordan. I grew up in majority Muslim countries and surrounded by majority Muslim environments. And we had, a copy of the Quran in the room. In fact, we had the Bhagavad Gita and the Book of Mormon, and for a little while, other documents in our house. These were things that my parents, although they never verbally said, these Christianity is true, therefore these are not forbidden. These are not verboten. The truth, capital T truth, of the reality of the world that we hold can stand up against scrutiny and investigation. And I did do a great deal of that as a kid. My dad is a historian as well. He has a doctorate, and I grew up on him, reading the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But at the exact same time, the reason why I actually went to university with full intention of going into the police force.
Oh, wow.
But it was interactions with Muslims and Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses and atheists and accusations against the credibility of the Bible, which actually piqued my interest because they would say things that I thought, if that's true, of course that undermines what I believe. I believe that Jesus is God incarnate. If I can't trust the Gospels as reliable first century eyewitness testimony, then I might as well throw all of this away because I'm not going to believe a lie, even if it's a convenient lie.
Man, we know around here that first-hand testimony ain't the best daggone testimony now, is it? So he scamming. Even in the court of law, eyewitness testimony ain't as slick as you think it is because people can see things different ways. They've done plenty of studies on it. So his whole Bible and him believing is hinging on what he claims to be the first century eyewitness accounts. And he puts emphasis on eyewitness accounts as if that's the gold standard. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not. Well, I tell you, arguing, going back and forth with Mormons and atheists made him realize it brought him to Christ, huh? And studying, deep study, and figured out it was eyewitness testimony. As if somebody was standing there recording it as it was happening. Knock it off. Knock it off. All right, we coming to the end. Man, hit that Cash App, man. I would like to finish with this right here, with this one right here. Tomorrow we're going to get on Billy part when Billy's talking. But right now, man, we want to definitely deal with a lot of stuff that these two guys is standing, the guy in the middle. I don't even know what his name is. Should know his name. What is his name? We'll find it out. All right. Let's go.
Us. And the love conquers all things too is when so many people overly get caught up on religion over the relationship. And he's like, I've actually met some atheists that are closer to God without even knowing it. And I've met some Christians that are further away from God without even knowing it. And I believe that too so much. And I'm just really curious, like, as you went on your journey as being like a historian, studying biblical text, and then being raised, of the church, did you take it? I don't want to put what, because did you take it upon like whatever I continue to discover, I'm going to have to accept, like, say something you did find when you were in Egypt revealed differently than what you were taught. Like, did you kind of tell yourself, I'm going on a quest, like searching for truth without like a set conclusion to prove Christianity, knowing that it could go either way? Am I making sense?
Yeah, he ain't make sense with atheists are closer to the to God and Christians is closer to the devil and vice versa. Like, what are we talking about here? So we just got to start to recognize, man, these are simply ideas that human beings come up with. Different human beings deem certain things evil, and certain individuals and cultures deem certain things pure and holy. Certain places, twins are evil. Certain places, twins are a blessing, depending on where you at. Certain places, two wives are good. In certain places, they'll lock you up for having two wives. Interesting right there. So let's finish this out and see what his response is, right? And tomorrow we'll get on Billy. Well, Billy's a wild one, but they're all scamming. I wanted to focus on the parts where nobody focusing on, nobody focusing on what Mr. Huff is saying. Not at all. Oh man. Man, big up to the chat, man, and everybody in the building, man. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. For real. Go.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a bit of an unusual household in that my mom grew up in India, and my parents, when I was younger, I was born in Pakistan, and I spent a portion of my childhood in Jordan. I grew up in majority Muslim countries and surrounded by majority Muslim environments. And we had, a copy of the Quran in the room. In fact, we had the Bhagavad Gita and the Book of Mormon, and for a little while, other documents in our house. These were things that my parents, although they never verbally said, these Christianity is true, therefore these are not forbidden. These are not verboten. The truth, capital T truth, of the reality of the world that we hold can stand up against scrutiny and investigation. And I did do a great deal of that as a kid. My dad is a historian as well. He has a doctorate, and I grew up on him, reading the rise and fall of the Roman Empire. But at the exact same time, the reason why I actually went to university with full intention of going into the police force,
Oh, wow.
but it was
Appreciate everybody, man. There you go, man. Appreciate everybody coming through, man. That ends that right there, man. We're gonna get back on this tomorrow. We're gonna play some of BillyCarson's part when they're gonna start talking about the flood. Noah, that's gonna be a great conversation there. How is Noah's Ark flood better than Utnapishtim's flood amongst the Sumerians? One is a Hebrew story, and one is a Sumerian story. Which one is real? Which one is right? The one that you place value on, the one that you understand the most, is the one that you will put your values on. Man, okay. Boy, I tell you, that's interesting right there. Let me see you in the chat, man. Let me see any more comments we got there. Nah, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I got it off mute. I got it. Mr. Thought, Mr. Posterior's Thought. I got it off there real quick. Figured it out. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Then God would know and unmute me. God got me. That's the power that we have at times. That's funny. Man, I appreciate everybody coming through. I see you, good juju, bad juju, due diligence. I see it, man. Yeah, they made it all up. All of them, all three of them was scamming, right? But they was on my man, Billy Scam Carson head, real, like they had something. They actually didn't. It's just based off of what value you placed on it. They all scamming. And if you can just only recognize the scamming that Billy is doing and not recognize the scamming that them two was doing, then you're in trouble. One was in the middle, moderately in the middle, right? Seemed like he was struggling with Christianity. The other one was hyped up, hard charge on his Christianity. All making it up at different levels. The one in the middle, he was making up on a level where this is how I feel. That's why the Bible shouldn't say that, right? The other one was somewhat of a historian, a theologian, somewhat of trying to get his doctrine in that, right? And he was very strict on what he was saying. And Billy, he was on this conscious community thing. All three scamming. To not to recognize that all three of them was scamming and making it up is a problem down the line. Man, I appreciate y'all coming through. Man, make sure y'all like and subscribe to the Community Skeptics, man, and to the Serial Killers, man. Make sure y'all check out Sister Juju and Brother Space Age Anthony on Space and Beyond, man. Make sure y'all, you know what I'm saying, get on top of them shows, man. Make sure y'all check that out. Let me see what else I got right here for y'all. Let's see. Hold on. Our Galaxy and Beyond, man. That's a powerful show. All right. And make sure y'all check that out. And let me hit this little commercial right here real fast for y'all real quick. Let me see where it's at. All right, man. Man, this show is definitely brought to you by, I should have done, you know what? Let me see. I'm going to get this right. Because I really appreciate that. Where's my daggone? Goodness gracious. Hold on, man. Man, any questions in the chat? Anything? Hold on, I want to find where did I put the daggone. Man, how did I lose that? Boy, you know. What did I do with the daggone? I wanted. Hold on 1 second. I want to get the right one. I don't want to mess this up. I do it like this. Make it real simple. Real simple, 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 simple. I think I'm gonna do it like this, right? Let's see. One second, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and bitumen. How do you say it? 1 second, ladies and bitumen. I don't want to invite nobody. Hold on. Hey, get this in here, man. Yeah, we're gonna have a powerful show tomorrow too. Make sure y'all stay tuned in. Let me get this commercial right. Can't believe it, man. Goodness gracious. Let me get this commercial right. The man. 1 second. I'm almost there to take. Man, I can't believe I can't get that. Always something. That's all right. It's all good. I'm gonna find it. I guess not, huh? I'm push it to find it. Nope. 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 Goodness gracious, man. I don't got this, man. Give me 1 second there. I don't see why it's not on there. Got that. All right, hold on. No, I don't want that. Goodness. Boy. One of the moments in time is all good. It's definitely all good. And the server's definitely playing with you. Oh, I didn't mean to get that. You know how I got to that. Nope, that ain't that, right? Diving in places I ain't even trying to get to. Gotta fix this server, Juju. It's your fault. But happy birthday to Juju. See, Juju, you missed it. I already said happy birthday to you, just for the record. You missed it. I'm glad you're in the building, but I definitely said happy birthday to you. Definitely said happy birthday to you. Oh, man, I cannot believe that I don't want to go on my phone. I'm supposed to go right here. I'm supposed to be able to do this. I'm supposed to be able to come to this. Let's see. We'll come to here. That ain't it. Create activity. No, how do you get to your daggone? See, you know it's different on that daggone. It's definitely different on your phone than it is. But I'm gonna find that though. I need to find that. Oh, that's the music. I ain't gonna get that on there. I ain't going nowhere until I find that. How about that? Oh. All right. Okay. All right. Is that it? No. Nope. Is that it? This one? Refreshing. Okay, that can't be the one. Let's see. Nope. That's it. Got it. All right, I'm gonna download that. All right. Got him now. Knew I was gonna get it. All right. Yeah. Wait 1 second, and we got it. Sorry about the delay. I'm gonna make sure I got you. All right. I'm gonna put that right here, all in real time. Watch how I get this in there. You say tap the what box? Oh, all right. I got it. I got it now. All right, got it. Took a little minute there. You know how I do when you get late. A little bit late night there. All right, let me put it in here like this. Bang it like this. Oh no. Well, how about that? How about that? All right. Now I'm loaded on here all in one swoop, right? All in one battle for it all. But yeah, so I just want y'all to know that the way we think about things is very, very crucial. And of course, we saying, yeah, he's supposed to get that. Yeah, he's supposed to get that. Yeah, but so I think everybody else is banging on him pretty good. And yeah, he's definitely a scam, and he should not be allowed to get away with it. Do I support BillyCarson? Hell nah. I don't support no pseudos. No pseudos. Not at all. Well, hold on, might be getting close. No pseudos. Hold on. Shoot. Anyway.
Hi, I'm Jill Waters, and I'm the creator of the Oasis for Teachers YouTube channel. I create content for teachers who are feeling burnt out and need a refreshing and rejuvenating. On my channel, you'll find self-care tips, inspiration, and professional development. So if you're feeling burnt out as a teacher, please come and join us.
Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming through, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Go ahead and like and subscribe, man, to the YouTube channel, Oasis, man. Y'all know what it is, man. Here, man. Appreciate everything y'all do. And with that,
Body banger from the block, seen it all raw tough. Streets of Baltimore where survival's always rough. Joined the Marines fighting for a life he could save. But back in the hood, he felt like a runaway slave. Started an army, not of guns but of wisdom. I'm a rock squad, truth the anthem, we ain't just a God killer. Bobby Banger on his path for the truth. Empower the people, give them wisdom as the proof. Black power rising, knowledge shines like a light. He's fighting for the future, ready to ignite. Selling drugs on the corner just to put food on plates, but deep in his heart, he knew he had greater fates. From the traps to the lab, he fights ignorance raw, teaching evolution while shaking up the law. The real black atheist is changing the game, waking up minds, never the same. God killer Bobby Banger on his path for the truth, empower the...
man, y'all know what it is, man. Thanks for sliding through, man. Y'all could have been anywhere else, man. And with that, we out.